Okay, well, I was trying to be incognito or I ought to comb my hair. Listen, this may be kind of a long video. You might want to go get something to drink or go to the bathroom. I hope you'll sit and think about what I'm trying to tell you here. And I'm going to try to make it obvious because we're getting a lot of disinformation and stuff like that. It's been going on a long time. I think this is the biggest conspiracy. Hey, QAnon got nothing on my conspiracy. Mine goes back to World War II. And if you haven't seen Warhead 1 Spills the Beans, I document the history of that right there. So, of how this conspiracy, government conspiracy. So, if you want to pause this for a minute and get ready to watch, I try to make the shortest videos, but okay, so I'm going to wait for a second while you get ready. Okay, here we go. My pointer. This engine, these kind of engines here are called 4-stroke engines. If you've never, I don't know if you know about engines, I'm just going to try to explain everything real basically. You can check it out on Google, whatever. There's a lot of videos on YouTube explain how 4-stroke engines work and everything. So just kind of take my word for it, but you can look it up and verify it somewhere else. Okay. This is a 4-stroke engine. It runs on gasoline and air, mostly air. We don't ever seem to get this. These are air gasoline engines. It takes a lot more air than gasoline because it takes more oxygen than gasoline. So to get what's called stoichiometry, where you get a complete combustion, all the carbon is burned, or chemically the carbon's attached to an oxygen molecule, more than one sometimes. CO2 has 2 oxygen molecules. So, what I want to talk to you about is the BMEP chart. And that means that that's the brake mean effective pressure. I'm trying to get it where you can read it. These are little sketches, but I hope this will get it in your mind better. And the usual depiction of this here is like this. It's even worse when you find you look up BMEP chart, and they usually overlap it, so you can't really tell what's going on. It's just kind of confusing here. So, but basically a 4-stroke engine has 1 power stroke and 3 parasitic strokes. So I came up with something. This is a BMEP graph. It's brake mean effective pressure, and it shows the pressure. Here's the intake vacuum. It's a negative pressure, and this line is 0 or atmospheric pressure, 14.7 pounds, not work. So I came up with a work graph to show that this 1 power cycle lasts for 180 degrees of crankshaft rotation, is the only power cycle of the 4 cycles. So that you have 3 that are not just 0, they are parasitic. Each one of these add up, and the total of this subtraction is subtracted from the area under the curve of this here, so that this is down to here now, because some of the work, this is a work graph, some of the work has been absorbed by the compression stroke, the exhaust stroke, and the intake stroke. It's not the same as pressure, because you can show the compression stroke as pressure, but work is not being done. It's negative work during the compression stroke. You follow me so far? Think this over. Once you get this, you'll understand how my engine works. And it can work that way because hydrogen peroxide is a fuel that doesn't need oxygen from the air. So you can eliminate these 3 cycles that are basically there to pump air, either in or out of the engine. And I don't know if the compression stroke absorbs more power or the exhaust stroke, but you can see, like dragsters have flames shooting out 10 feet. You can see a lot of pressures coming out of that 2.5-inch pipe. So here's how my engine works, and I'm going to show you a picture of my engine right here. Now you might want to pause again and look at this. If you look at this real careful, I'm trying to get it where you could pause it without a icon or whatever in front of it. So you can see that this engine can fire 8 times per rotation with no parasitic cycles. So that's got to improve efficiency. That's just all it is, because the inefficient part is this right here. No work is being done. On my engine, it can fire in this same time 720 degrees, 2 rotations of the engine's crankshaft. In my engine, over 720 degrees, the picture I just showed you, look at it, you can figure out it can fire 16 times in 2 revolutions. And that, since this is a work graph, you can see this line is 0 work right here, not pressure. My engine never goes below the 0 work line, whereas piston engines, 4 strokes, are 75% of the time are in this negative work area. That's got to take, so I see this video is kind of running long. I wanted to tell you about how I went to the government and I applied for a federal research grant, and they sent me to this guy with 2 PhDs, and he couldn't figure this out. He couldn't. This seems pretty simple to me, but I argued with this guy for 4 years, and finally I asked my congressman, can you get me somebody else? This guy is retired from 3 oil companies, and I invented the water-powered engine, and if he can't figure this out with 2 PhDs, and he worked for Gulf Oil, Standard Oil, and Dow Chemical, he's not trying. And besides that, the brochure said I'd get somebody in the field of my invention. I invented the water-powered engine. What's this guy got to do with it? My engine doesn't even use oil. And here it is again. This engine is an experiment in how can you run an engine without oil. That's what this model engine is all about. Materials and design. So we're trying different stuff there.